The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center is committed to helping you build your family with evidence-based fertility care and a compassionate care team that's with you every step of the way.
You know, when we get to hear the heartbeat at their first ultrasound, it makes me feel humbled every single day that I get to play a small part in that journey.
Our fertility specialists and birth success rates have helped bring home healthy babies to loving families around the world. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center, building families one healthy baby at a time. Visit RMAnetwork.com.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I think you...
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When you look into Discover Student Loans, what you see might surprise you. We can help cover your college costs, don't charge you fees, and give you cash rewards for good grades. Ready to apply? Visit discoverstudentloans.com. Limitations apply.
All right, let's get some of this gold on tape.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get hot?
I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
It's finally spring.
We're back. Spring has sprung fully just in time before it's almost over.
Yeah, right. Only 6 weeks to go before it's summer.
Yeah. The sound of lawnmowers and mini bikes in the air.
Yeah, that's right. Your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. They're out in full force already. You're probably going to hear some of them tonight because we got another half hour till sundown.
They do street takeovers in your neighborhood with the mini bikes?
Yeah. The cops can't do shit. I mean, they can't do shit about the guys that are, like, racing down the side streets. There's no way they're going to do anything about a guy in a mini bike.
Well, in the current climate, too, if you're a cop, you're like, yeah, whatever, fucking go ahead. If you guys get hurt, we jump in.
Yeah.
Knock yourselves out.
Well, I mean, it was a few years back now, but there was that guy in Detroit that he was tearing around the city in a four-wheeler, and the cops decided to pursue him. He ended up rear-ending a truck and breaking his neck and dying.
Yeah.
So, it's no wonder. Mm-hmm. That being said, okay, I didn't plan on talking about this, but this is crazy. So, did you hear about this guy who went to get his car serviced, and they had it up on the lift, and it was a stick shift. One of the workers was supposed to, like, put it in gear or something, and didn't know how to work the shifter, and ended up running the truck off the lift and killing the other guy. Pinned him up against the wall and killed him.
Yeah.
And guess who's responsible?
The owner of the car, somehow.
The owner of the vehicle. Thank you, Michigan law.
Who wasn't even in the building. He dropped his car off.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane.
Dude, I'm sure you get the right lawyer, this guy ain't going to pay shit.
I'm sure, but who needs that shit? Like, Don't loan your car out, especially not in... I guess there's other states that have similar laws, but, like, Michigan is so fucked when it comes to their car, the laws around their cars.
First of all, who the fuck takes their car to the dealership? You know, 10-minute oil changes have been a thing for 30 years. You know, my mom, because she gets it for free. Because but it's that's a good point. I don't have a half a day to block off to get my fucking oil changed.
If this guy's going to the dealership for his oil change, I'm sure he has a lawyer on retainer already. He can afford it.
Yeah, for starters, it's like 3 times as much as it would be at a 10-minute oil change place. Yeah, and it takes you, if you show up at 9...
Which is already 3 times as much as it would take for you to do it at home.
Yeah, exactly. And if you show up at 9, maybe you're rolling out of there at 11.
Right. And then what are you going to do in the meantime? Get pitched for a new vehicle?
Yeah.
Have some guy harass you about the 2023s?
In their waiting room, and you drink the bad coffee, and you watch the daytime TV, and you raid the vending machines, and you finger fuck your phone. I just don't understand in this story, how is the dealership not liable for hiring somebody that didn't know how to, like, if you're going to be a porter, hey, can you drive a stick shift? This might come up.
Yeah. Oh, the guy probably lied. Well, how many stick shifts do you think they come across these days?
I mean, at a dealership, maybe more than, I mean, work trucks. I know work trucks still have stick shifts in them.
Yeah. But, I mean, mostly what the dealerships are selling is trucks and SUVs and, like, work vans and stuff like that. Like, those shits are all automatic.
And you get into your higher-end sports cars, you know, they're still the gearheads like the automatic.
Sure.
Or the manual.
I still like a manual transmission.
I had one for a while. When I got out of high school, I had like a 98 or something S10.
It's fuel efficient, fun to drive.
It was interesting in the winter. So, I'm sure statute of limitations is passed. Getting all stoned, going to a parking lot in the winter and just fucking doing circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, pop it into neutral, save a bunch of gas.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Well, actually, so what you want to do with a manual transmission is actually downshift.
Yes.
But I never really got the hang of that. Like, well, it just didn't feel right, I guess. But you're supposed to like let downshifting, the shifting of the gears actually slow your vehicle down before you hit your brakes.
Yeah, you had to feel it. You had to keep an eye on your tack. I could downshift. And it was just, it was just, you had to do it. But too, I also, like, where I went to high school, like, I was one of the few people I hung out with that wasn't into cars. So I had tons of friends telling me, yep, just make sure when it gets to, it was 2,500. That was whenever you shifted. Anytime it got to 2,500, you shifted, whether it was up or down.
That's a good safe bet.
And if you were going to downshift, your speedometer was also more involved too. If it was like between certain speeds, you went into certain gears.
So we haven't talked since the Chappelle incident, huh? Is this the end of comedy?
I know. I heard.
Are people going to be attacked left and right now for their jokes?
I heard Kevin Hart's take on it, and I agree with him.
What did Kevin Hart say?
I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
I'm not funny, but David Chappelle's a genius.
Right. No, but it was something to the effect like, I'm glad he got his ass whooped because we can't have people continuously thinking this is okay. Like breaking down that barrier between performer and audience. Like he was basically saying he's glad 9 dudes whipped that guy's ass.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been excessive, but I think it was...
So it's what he did.
Yeah.
Your job's to sit there and laugh.
But he had... So he had a weapon on him.
Yes.
But it wasn't a gun. It was a fake gun. It was a knife that looked like a gun. It was shaped like a gun.
Gun knife.
Who carries that?
Yeah.
Who carries that? Like, I don't want to guarantee that I kill the guy, but I might want to stab him. But I also want to ensure that if the cops show up, they're going to shoot me dead.
Well, we were discussing on Gen Exhausted, maybe it's just insurance. So you can have the knife at a gunfight and the gun at a knife fight. You're just always prepared.
Yeah, but it only does one thing.
It's true. Can't be a knife and a gun at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be, but then you'd be like a Civil War soldier.
Yeah. What if it's a gun that shot knives?
Of a rifle. Ooh, now you're onto something.
Or a knife that shot bullets.
Or the dogs with bees in their mouth.
Then they bark to shoot bees.
So I don't know. That guy got his ass whipped and like is prosecuted as well, huh?
I mean, but come on, the undercurrent here, right? I'm definitely not the person to always make excuses for people, but I mean, there's probably some mental illness in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the gun knife alone to me just says, yeah, this guy ain't all there.
Not a full deck. Yeah, I hope he gets help.
And Chappelle refuses to press charges.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It just would be piling on at this point, right?
Because I'm sure the venue is going to press charges.
Right. Well, he's been charged, and if found guilty, could serve up to 18 months in jail. So, I mean, I don't know what else Dave's charges are going to do. It's not, and what you think Chappelle wants to sue this guy?
What's
the guy sitting on a few million is going to worry about this empty bag?
I was saying, what does Corolla always say? And we've said it today: empty bag.
Yeah, follow the money. That's who gets sued. If anything, Dave would go after the venue for letting him get assaulted.
Right? Yeah. Go after Live Nation. They got deeper pockets.
There you go. Yeah, I'm always for going after Live Nation. I don't give a fuck.
Right? And how about Chris Rock being quick on the draw?
Oh, did he have a snappy response?
Oh, yeah, he was there in the audience. He said he just picked up the mic and said, he ran on stage and said, "Was that Will Smith?" I mean, if you're Chris Rock, it's the low-hanging fruit, but, got the audience right on his side.
It's not a great joke, but it's an unavoidable one. Like, the situation was too perfect. You can't not tell that joke.
If you're ever using this joke, it's this situation.
Yes, this situation, these people in this room. So the end of an era, meaning that Apple has discontinued the final version of the iPod.
The iPod's still around?
Yeah.
I thought the iPhone killed it.
Well, there was the iPod Touch, which looked a lot like an iPhone and did a lot of the things that an iPhone did, except for make calls, unless you use like FaceTime or something like that. But also you couldn't get like a SIM card for it. But it was the iPod Touch, and they were still in production. I mean, not very well selling because, I mean, frankly, you have just as much storage on your phone already.
Yeah.
But still, I think worthy of a nod because it changed the way many, many people listen to music, myself included.
Yeah. Well, also, podcast. Where do you think the pod came from?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, we just think of pods now and podcasting and your podcatchers, but like...
That's an Apple term. Yeah. I mean, it's really what? Internet casting? If you want to get down to it. It's internet broadcasting, really. But yeah, podcast it came from the iPod.
Yeah, and it's not like there weren't people that were before the iPod. That there were plenty of people that were, getting some home equipment, making their own radio shows, throwing them up on the internet. The same thing. People could download them, live stream them, all kinds of stuff. That was all available. But the idea of having like one device with an app that could catch all of that stuff and catalog it for you and keep track of what you've listened to and keep your place, that was a huge game changer.
Oh, the fact that I could now bring my whole music collection with me and listen to it? Not have to all right, the CD's over.
But I was talking specifically about podcasts, though.
Yes, that is what,
Well, imagine, like, before we might, like, I heard, so-and-so's radio show was live streaming, I'll pick that up. Or you go listen to some archives or some, blog that some guy's doing. But you might listen to a few of them and you forget where you were. And did I even listen to that one? And there was no convenient way to, like, keep up on it daily like you would radio shows.
Yeah, well,
radio shows, like, every week there's certain shows are going to be on at a certain time that you tune in for. This same concept with us.
Yes, and podcasts work like how I thought the radio worked when I was 4. I thought when you stopped the car, the radio stopped.
Yeah.
And you just pick up, and two, because you're 4, you have no concept of time. Your parents run in, run out. Oh, I know. To call the authorities. I was left in the car unattended while I was a kid. But yeah, the same song is on. You think, the radio just stopped. Right? Yeah. But podcast, I stopped listening to the Adam Carolla show at a certain point. I can pick up at the same time tomorrow. And it also took RSS feeds to the next level because they were a thing before. RSS feeds existed before podcasts.
But that was something that, nerds used.
Yeah, they were for blogs. And really a podcast is, for those who know, it's an audio blog. If you get down to how it's programmed and how it's delivered to you and what it's uploaded, it's an audio blog.
Yep. And I know, like, we've all heard the naysayers of Apple, like, they're not really inventors of anything. Yeah, they didn't invent a device that plays music or a tablet or even a smartphone. They didn't invent any of that. But they did invent it in the right way to be user-friendly enough so that people would access all of this content in ways that they could, that was convenient for people.
You could argue with, in the technology space, they did invent the user experience.
Yeah. I'll give them that, absolutely.
Yeah, like, on Gen Exhaust, I was saying this to Rich a couple weeks ago. Like, Apple has never, ever claimed to invent any of the stuff that they've come out with. They just take the experience, that's what they augment. They make it easy to use. They make it idiot-proof. They make it so my mom could use it, even though she wouldn't. But
and they know how to design something that makes you want to touch it. Like that was So there's a story about it was like one of the first like iMacs or eMacs or whatever they called them at the time, and somebody, I think it was Steve Jobs or maybe it was the other guy. It said, we want to put a handle on it, right? And for no real practical reason, it wasn't really meant to be a portable computer per se. And it was at a huge cost, considering that there was no real practical benefit to it. But it was simply to convey the idea that you should put your hands on this thing. And it worked. You know, and that's the thing about their products. Their products invite you to put your hands on them and try and figure out how it works.
Well, because it started with the iMac, too. Because I remember Rich and I were talking about when we went to Specs Howard. There was 2 computer labs. There was the PC lab and the Apple lab. And this was 1999, and nobody wanted to use the Apple lab. Because they're like, what the fuck is this? Nobody knows how to use this and this and that. And then it's like...
And interfaces everything. I mean,
but after 2000, the iMacs came out, right? And what you started happening. And then, you know, all of a sudden there's this groundswell. And in the early 2000s, all of a sudden the iPod comes out. And it was like Apple just slowly started ramping up at the beginning of the changing of the guard was slowly starting, you know, once the millennium hit. You know, there was still those commercials with remember there was commercials with what was it? Justin Long and John Hodgman.
Yep.
You know, that kind of started it too.
But think about like technology at that point was advancing, like our devices were all getting more complex. But it all just started getting more buttons and displays and more knobs, and people just shut down. You know, even your average consumer looks at, you know, like a piece of stereo equipment and says, I don't know what any of this stuff does. I just figured I push this button and that button, it sounds best. But this device, I mean, it's got like, what? How do they do this with 2 buttons? You know, it must not really do much, so let's figure out what it does. Oh, it actually does a lot with these. Oh, I can touch the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know. Goodbye, iPod. I've owned many of you in the past, and haven't had a need for one. I was looking for, I don't know what happened to the last 2 iPods that I had. They disappeared somewhere.
See, I only had one. I went from a mini right to an iPhone. Like I did, there was no.
I wanted one. I had an
gray
older
screen
car.
to iPhone.
I had an older car that had an iPhone hookup in it already, and I was like, "This is perfect. I can just not an iPhone, but like the iPod, like the 30-pin connector."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what I wanted to do is I'll just load up a bunch of music in the iPod. This thing charges it as well, so it just goes into the glove compartment.
Did you ever have the radio transmitter?
Oh, yeah, I've used the radio. I've used plenty of those. I had the cassette adapters, the radio transmitters. I've had them where you actually can connect them directly into the antenna for a better signal. Those are the best ones.
Remember the first time you had your entire music collection in your iPod? I don't know about you. I was averaging maybe 20 seconds a song. Like, oh my God, I can hear another one. And I can hear oh, and they're all mixed up. Oh man, this is great.
Well, you know, I was eyeballing the 100 disc CD changers. It's like, that's what I want. I want to put them all into all these CDs in there and just let the thing play on random. But then in practicality, it was a long time in between to switch from one song to another because it's a carousel that spins around. And then the things only had they lasted 2, maybe 3 years tops before the motor burns out because you're playing on shuffle all the time and the carousel's constantly spinning back and forth. And they were still outrageously expensive when compared to other CD players. And then the iPod came out and just made that completely obsolete.
Yeah.
In conjunction, of course, with iTunes, which I mean, that just, the idea of popping a CD into your computer, it rips it, puts all the track name and artist info in there, and when you connect your iPod, it just dumps it right onto it. It made a lot of complex technology extremely idiot-proof.
Yes.
So, that's it. Ode to the iPod. We shall miss you.
R.I.P. iPod.
You'll be, just another piece of technology that was revolutionary at the time and changed a lot of things. But in 5 more years, we'll have to sit people down to explain to them what it was and did, and then they still won't get it.
Wait, so it was like your iPhone that didn't work as a phone? Yeah. But why?
And you had iPhones. Well, yeah, we had iPhones. We also had iPods. Oh, you guys were dumb, huh?
It's like when you were your kid was like fascinated that the phone used to be attached to the wall.
Right.
What? How'd you go to the other room? You didn't.
Yeah.
You bought a long cord.
Yeah. But what if I'm not home?
Right? Did you even blow their mind and you mentioned, there used to not be answering machines?
Yeah. Oh, well, there were answering machines that would take a message for you. Okay. So I carry an answering machine around with me? No, the answering machine stays at home. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I can't listen to it while I'm out of the house.
Yeah. The concept of sometimes somebody called and you weren't home. Imagine that.
Yeah. And the person that called you didn't think, oh my God, they hate me.
Yeah.
Why didn't they pick up?
Or now it's the opposite, right? What is it, the Aziz Ansari routine? Oh my God, why are you calling me? Are you on fire?
Oh my God, I'm so glad that you brought up Aziz Ansari, because I feel so Aziz Ansari for him. Because Aziz went through all this shit with this stupid bad date that ended in disappointment and accusations of, I can't even remember what. I mean, really, it was a big nothing burger, but he got wrapped up in all, this is happening at the same time as people are talking about Louis C.K. and others. And he just gets lumped in with those guys, and it's completely unfair. And so what does he do? He steps back a little bit. Some of his projects get pushed even. He actually suffered from it, but he took his licks and didn't try and fight back on it. It was just like, I'm just going to dip into the background for a little bit. Now he's got a new show going. He's got a big star attached and Bill Murray. And then they have to stop production because there's harassment claims against Bill Murray and shit that he's doing on set. And I can't imagine what Aziz Ansari is feeling right now.
Jesus Christ!
Fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
I mean, I have a feeling Bill Murray was mean to somebody. There's this.
He made a joke that people would have been slapping their knees on the set of Ghostbusters 2, but today somebody found offensive.
There's just this,
and I can't.
But he's stop being so soft. I know we got told growing up sometimes people are assholes. And as long as it's, not crossing any lines, just fucking brush it off and go on about your fucking day.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being overprotective of an actor who, I grew up with and have always really liked, but it doesn't feel like, we're finally exposing the serial abuser.
Well, yeah, with the current climate and
the guy's 65 years old.
Bill Murray.
And sometimes his jokes are out of date.
Add 10 years.
75 years old.
Yeah, Bill Murray's in his 70s at this point. As long as he's been around and the current climate the last few years, I think at this point we'd know.
Yes, we would. There's been cell phones. I mean, people have all kinds of stories about him doing wacky shit. There's a whole documentary about him popping up at people's weddings and shit. If he was showing up at weddings and pinching asses, we'd probably know that story too.
Yes. At this point, if Bill Murray had any late night Weinstein-type meetings, we'd have heard about him. No, he's Bill Murray.
Yeah. No, because Bill Murray doesn't know. He's got something Weinstein doesn't have. charm.
Is it the urban legend with him is like you don't call him for a project, he calls you?
I'm not sure how that works, but sure, I get it.
Well, no, like I guess like he gets wind of a project and we'll call the people and go, hey, I want to be involved with this.
Yeah.
Like it's more
maybe. I'm sure there's a lot to get. Well, like I'm sure he had to be pitched his role of playing himself in Zombieland. Like I don't think he hears about a zombie movie and is like, write in a part for me where I play myself.
Let's see. Let's fire up the Google machine. Because I want to say, I think there's a story to this one. Okay. Now that you've mentioned that.
The Zombieland specifically?
Yeah. Like, I think it was a successful case of someone seeking him out and being like, do this movie.
Bill Murray cameo was originally written for Patrick Swayze. Other celebrities were considered as well. So they had basically a celebrity slotted in there.
Oh, here you go. From MTV News from like 2010.
Kurt Loder?
No, it says Larry Carroll. Whatever that is.
Tabitha Soren?
Yeah, we started with Patrick Swayze. He got sick. And
Downtown Julie Brown?
Right. Well, here's some people that they had in mind for the role other than Patrick Swayze. Joe Pesci, Mark Hamill, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone, The Rock, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're looking at the same story.
Oh, McConaughey came closest but backed out at the last moment. Said, you name it, we wrote a draft for them. We never asked the likes of Bill Murray because we figured we'd never get Bill Murray. He's the toughest to get in Hollywood. Hold on.
He said, Paul, to his great credit, doesn't like to know. He walked up to Woody Harrelson on set and said to Woody, anyone else? Do you have any other ideas? He said, 2 guys. He said, Dustin Hoffman and Bill Murray. And we were like, yes and yes. But Dustin Hoffman couldn't do it. But Bill Murray said, send me the script.
Oh, but
he doesn't have an email address, interestingly. No agent, no manager.
Yeah.
It was Woody Harrelson that called him, his buddy. Yeah.
And it says they sent the script to a FedEx Kinko's in New York.
Right. So if he has to find out about it, like somebody, like a friend of his will be like, hey, there's this role that you might be perfect for, and they'd be interested in having you.
So he doesn't have an agent, he doesn't have he just gets word of parts and goes, yeah, I want to do it.
Yep. Next, we're going to find out that he's also paid no taxes.
Right. I mean, it is Bill fucking Murray.
Yeah.
For a while, that's all I could say his name as after I saw Zombieland.
Decently solid sequel to that movie as well.
Never saw
Not
it.
as good as the original, but it's worth checking out.
Well, I'm sure when the sequel was made, it was now 2 young women instead of one little girl and Emma Stone.
Yeah. Yeah, it was exactly what was it, 10 years between the two?
Oh, wow.
So they did 10 years later. Oh, actually, if I remember correctly, it released on the 10-year anniversary too.
Was Bill Murray in the sequel?
No, he died in the original.
I forget. It's been a minute.
He turns into a zombie, and then they have to shoot him.
Yeah, but you got an out being a zombie.
It's true. It's a zombie film.
Oh, it's crazy. He didn't die because he's a zombie.
Yeah. They can just make up their own roles.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center is committed to helping you build your family with evidence-based fertility care and a compassionate care team that's with you every step of the way.
When we get to hear the heartbeat at their first ultrasound, it makes me feel humbled every single day that I get to play a small part in that journey.
Our fertility specialists and birth success rates have helped bring home healthy babies to loving families around the world. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center, building families one healthy baby at a time. Visit RMAnetwork.com.
Want a great way to recognize your employees? Check out Custom Ink. Have you ever thought about doing something special for your customers? Custom Ink can do that too. And wouldn't your team love some custom gear? Custom Ink is ready. Custom Ink is your go-to custom gear partner with great customer service, quality products, and all-in pricing along with personalized help when you need it and an easy-to-use website when you don't. Plus, everything is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Check out what we can do for your business at customink.com.
I'm a veterinarian, sure, but I'm way more than that. I am also a tango dancer, a struggling but determined pie maker, and a mom. With IndieVets, I get to choose when and where I work. I create my own schedule and choose shifts at nearby animal hospitals that are right for me. Having that flexibility is exactly what I need to have plenty of time for all those other things that I am. Because I'm more than just a vet. Visit IndieVets.com to learn more and apply.
RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center is committed to helping you build your family with evidence-based fertility care and a compassionate care team that's with you every step of the way.
You know, when we get to hear the heartbeat at their first ultrasound, it makes me feel humbled every single day that I get to play a small part in that journey.
Our fertility specialists and birth success rates have helped bring home healthy babies to loving families around the world. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center, building families one healthy baby at a time. Visit RMAnetwork.com.
A Honda is more than just a vehicle. It's a gateway to spring adventure. Start your adventures with Honda, the brand owners are calling the most fun to drive. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2022 Honda Accord, Civic, or HR-V. Hurry into a local Honda dealer where new vehicles are arriving daily.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI 2021 ACSI survey of customers rating the performance of their own automobiles.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
I saw that Doctor Strange movie, latest Marvel film.
Ooh, the controversial one?
Why is it controversial?
The one where they won't change the gay storyline or kiss or whatever in China? Disney standing up to China?
Oh, it must have been the mothers of America Chavez.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, there's it's like a lesbian kiss or something, and apparently this is the first one they won't change for the Chinese market.
Yeah. That's probably the one they're taking the least hit on because,
right.
I mean, that's like I really dug the movie. I went with my kid. She was really into it too. It was fantastic, visually exciting, lots of crazy, trippy sequences. It's a nerd pleaser, not necessarily a crowd pleaser. It's a decent movie that moves along a good pace because it's Sam Raimi. Like the guy knows how to direct a movie.
So this is one for the fanboys?
But it's a fanboy movie. I mean, your average person isn't getting excited about seeing Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic and, the big, sorry.
Well, if you're Marvel,
spoiler alert.
Well, if you're Marvel, don't one out of every 3 of these movies got to be one of these fanboy picks. Because, granted, you need you need the big blockbusters, to keep the money train rolling. But never forget your roots, right? You got to.
But they're at a certain point they're gonna run into the same problem that Marvel Comics has had, and what all comics have had. So anyone who does superhero comics is looking to emulate the Marvel style and do this continuity, this shared universe, right? Like everything is happening in real time, and they're all in the same world together. So Spider-Man, if he goes to visit the X-Men, then there's going to be X-Men and the Spider-Man and X-Men and Spider-Man story. But that also means that if you have this constantly continuing story it's like a soap opera, right? It never resets, and there's never like a definitive conclusion. It's not like a bunch of little mini series. It just keeps going and going and going. There aren't even seasons. And so longer running series there would be attrition of readers because, some people just naturally drop off and stop reading, but you're not getting new ones because nobody knows where to start. They pick it up and they go, who are these characters? I don't know the relationship between any of them. And so they've tried to now they kind of just do constant reboots. We'll do a series for a couple years or 2, and then we'll get a new hot writer on, and we'll do a new number 1. And it doesn't reset all the stories, but it at least puts you in a spot where if you're a new reader, you can pick it up and go, okay, here's here's all my characters, here's a little bit of the relationship, here's the structure of it. It's easier to jump in on. And the latest Marvel TV shows and movies, while they've done a good job of being accessible, they still are relying on you bringing a lot to it in that you've watched all the previous material. You know, I asked a friend of mine if he wanted to go see the Doctor Strange movie with me. He said, you know, I haven't really watched the last couple years of Marvel stuff, so I'm not up on it. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. And sure enough, I watched it. I was like, yeah, you probably wouldn't have enjoyed this because I'd have to explain to him what the fuck was going on and why Wanda is evil and what the multiverse is and who Black Bolt is and why Professor X is there. So, yeah, I mean, at a certain point, this is the reason that this one is suffering in reviews is just because of that. It is the most fan-servicey Marvel film that they've done to date.
But if the people like it, and that all that matters.
Well, yeah, but the people don't like it in the same numbers that they liked Spider-Man 3, that they liked, you know, Endgame or, you know, even Ant-Man.
See, I've heard a lot of positive word of mouth about this movie.
Yeah.
But maybe I know a bunch of nerds.
Well, look, yeah, I mean, I think that the people who are suckers for this shit already, myself included, are really into it. We like where they're taking the universe in general. The critics are being hard on it, and I don't think it's completely unwarranted because they have to. If you're a critic, you can't judge this like, okay, people, let's just keep in mind, you know, that to fully enjoy this movie, you have to watch 23 other films. That's going to be 64 combined hours of your time to know what's really going on in this Doctor Strange movie, the superhero that you barely know. You know, they have to judge it as a movie. How does it compare to other movies that are out? Can a stranger, can a person who's not familiar with the Marvel stuff, can they walk in and will it lay out enough of a story for them to go, okay, I can follow this? I don't think that's the case. I really don't. This is definitely not the one that, you know, try and get your buddy or your you know, family member. This is not going to be the one that converts them into a Marvel fan.
Noted.
So this week in Mad Lib headlines, that is headlines that sound like you just piece them together with random people and events. Dolly Parton and Doja Cat team up for Taco Bell TikTok musical about Mexican pizza.
Oh, my God. Is Dolly Parton a little too available lately?
Yeah. Does she ever answer the phone with no?
I mean, someone had mentioned that in now recent events, he's disappeared, but someone had brought that up about Dave Grohl. And I like Dave Grohl a lot, but they had mentioned a good point. And I think Dolly Parton's also falling into this category lately. She just she knows she's wrapping it up and is just trying to just grab everything she can before she dies, or
I don't know. She looks good. Yeah. She seems in good health, and she does a lot. She's active.
But I think she's pushing 80.
Is she? I mean, she must be. How is that possible? Like, she's not even human anymore, is she? She's like mostly.
Yeah, she's 76 years old.
So Mexican pizza is coming back on May 19th. So we got, from recording this, 9 days until you can get your precious pizza back.
Oh my God, I don't care.
I don't.
There are so many people I know that are super pumped about this. Like, it's just like something you order at and Rich of all people was like, "Hey man, can't you let people enjoy things?" So I'm guessing a Mexican pizza fan.
Yeah.
But it's no, my sister's one of these people. Like, I using hyperbole here, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's got like a countdown calendar going on. It's just an item at a restaurant.
A lot of this is 90s nostalgia, and
90s nostalgia's only been gone for like 5 years.
Well, it was, yeah, but it was big in the 90s. That's when everybody was eating Mexican pizza, right?
I guess. I mean, yeah, I had friends that every time we went on a Taco Bell run, they got a Mexican pizza. I never.
You're the fucker. Especially if you're like making a run for the border and you're not dining in. No, I don't trust that Mexican pizza to come back in good shape. That's why you get the tacos and burritos.
Isn't it just
they travel well?
Isn't it just a double stacked tostada with melted cheese on it?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people biting in and be like, "Oh, yep, wow, that tastes like Taco Bell."
You know what Mexican pizza was? It was like the first thing where Taco Bell started the food fucking the other food.
I guess
because until Mexican pizza, it was tacos, it was burritos.
Like there's some limited time items or items that restaurants bring back, and they have a specific taste or flavor, some sauce or something like that is particular to that. This is the same ingredients that go into everything else, just stacked in a different order.
Well, yeah, Taco Bell has the same 5 ingredients. They just find new ways. They mentioned it's like, pizza restaurants do the same thing.
And also, the Crunchwrap Supreme is far superior to the pizza, that is.
Absolutely.
Travels better. You can load it up with more shit. It's easier to eat.
Yeah, it's more filling.
It's the reason why they discontinued it, because they're like, we got a Crunchwrap Supreme. Who needs a pizza?
Yeah, if you put a Crunchwrap Supreme and a Mexican pizza in front of me and say, one till you die, I'm picking up the Crunchwrap.
I'm picking up that pizza, putting it inside the Crunchwrap, and going, I just invented a new item. Speaking of crunch and weird combinations, have you seen the commercials for Tropicana Crunch?
Like the orange juice?
Like the orange juice, exactly like the orange juice.
Is getting into the cereal business?
Not only are they getting in the cereal business, but they're trying to double dip on this one. They're recommending that you load up your cereal with orange juice.
I was just about to ask, are they going to change the game? See, now this...
Well, better put some water on that shit.
See, now I'm intrigued. I might just try this just to be like, huh.
I've done the OJ in the cereal in a pinch, and there's worse things that you can do.
See, I can see that working in like Trix or like Fruit Loops, but like in Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
not so much. Life,
Fruity Pebbles, yes. Cheerios, no.
Fruity Pebbles, that's the way to go. If you got to do OJ,
all right. A person of color is pouring the orange juice into the bowl.
Tropicana Crunch cereal made for OJ.
Now, is this racist because black people usually like fruit flavored things?
Is their advertising racist?
Just saying, it's a person of color pouring the orange juice into the orange cereal.
Well, you can only see their hand, so you don't know that they're a person of color.
They got a tan. So what is it? But what is the cereal? Is it just orange
just looks like
cereal?
Flakes. Doesn't it look like flakes?
Tropicana Crunch honey
Here's
almond cereal.
Here's some guy who tried it. What does he say about it? Released for National Orange Juice Day. Oh, gosh, I missed it again. God damn it.
I got to put that on my calendar.
I know. I don't know why they don't put that in Google Calendar. They put everything else in there. Mother's Day, Father's Day, President's Day. They can't fucking put National OJ Day. It's the first cereal made specifically for pairing with OJ. A company claims it's crispy and ready to get citrusy. That's me most times too. Usually crispy and ready to get citrusy.
Right.
Next time somebody asks how I'm doing, it's going to be very sweet. I'm crispy and ready to get citrusy. It comes thoughtfully packaged with one of Tropicana's famous red striped straws, so you can finish the cereal juice with class instead of lapping it from the bowl like a dehydrated Labrador.
Here, I got through all the bullshit,
that.
And I found what we want to both know. How does it taste? Well, if you've ever enjoyed a creamsicle straight out of the ice cream truck on a hot summer's day, but wish it could be partially melted and somehow chewy and fibrous, this is the cereal for you. All right.
I have not done so.
No. However, it tastes like a creamsicle. All right, I'm going to try it.
That might be a bit much for breakfast, but yeah, maybe it's maybe it's more of like a midnight snack. And
Right.
that'd be good because like I like cereal, but there's plenty of times where I'm like, I'm not going to have the cereal at like 11 o'clock at night because I'm going to like be farting all night.
Oh, dude, back in the day, that was my go-to stoner munchie, and I'd come home just blazed. I mean, my
huge
parents
bowl of
had to
cereal,
know.
yeah.
Oh, there's Chris eating a half box of cereal at midnight again.
Yeah. Definitely something sober people do.
Yeah. But no, I can see this, like, Tropicana, can we just, this is for high people, right? Who's clamoring for this? I mean, I'm high and I'm going to try it. I mean, so you got me. Can you use other juices?
I guess, yeah, you could use whatever you want. But it's made for OJ.
Made for OJ. What about like orange pineapple?
That's a good idea. I bet you. Orange pineapple's good.
Does anyone ever put grape juice and grape nuts?
Ew.
Hmm?
No. That sounds gross.
Oh, milk and grape nuts is gross.
Grape nuts are gross, and so is grape juice.
See, now, okay.
It's two bad things.
What? You don't like grape juice?
Nah, not really.
What's wrong with you?
White grape. Give me that white grape all day.
Purple grape juice, and I'm saying grape juice, not drink. Actual
Sure. No, I'm
purple
with you.
grape juice is delicious.
Grape juice, grape jelly, grapes. Not that great.
That's a hot take.
There you go. Sizzling.
Hold on. There you go. Some grapes on the grill for you.
All right, so let's do a quick update. We'll do a rundown of some weed news before we get out of here. The big question is what's going on with that legalization bill that Schumer has promised. Well, I'm sure it's got backburnered now, considering recent events, namely the Supreme Court. But he says Schumer's claimed to have, what does he claim to have done here?
Wasn't he going to tell people about it? Wasn't that his thing?
But so recently there was a rally that he spoke at in New York City. He joined Jerry Nadler, a Democrat from New York, and one of his co-signers of the bill. He stressed to rally attendees that he's working to win bipartisan support for the forthcoming bill, and he plans to introduce with Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden and Cory Booker. Those are the other two.
So they're still planning to tell people that's where they're at?
I've invited every U.S. Senator, every Democrat, every Republican to come meet with us and tell us why they won't support the bill or whether they will. And I'm making good progress. You might want to consider your phrasing. I hope you're not addressing it that way. Hey, do you mind coming down here and telling me why you won't support this bill? Unless you actually do support it. I've already met with 6 Republicans, so we can get 10. We can get the 60 votes we need on the floor of the Senate to pass legislation. So they need a supermajority for this. I don't know if they need a supermajority for this or if this is just another attempt to make it filibuster proof. I mean, really, they only need, if they already have 6 Republicans that are willing to support them, then they've got enough to pass it, but not enough to keep it from getting tied up if others are so inclined.
6 down, 4 to go. I think there's more Republican stoners than people think.
The IRS recently posted a blog that explained to cannabis companies how to pay their taxes correctly and what they're responsible for.
Is this different from their article a few months ago, or I think it was last year, about essentially they told you how to launder your money?
Yeah, it is different from that. It's more clear, direct, and actually legal. So in the Marijuana Moment, they wrote about this. So in a recent blog posted on Tuesday, the independent agency under IRS explained that cannabis companies are still obligated to pay federal taxes, but they're barred from deducting most expenses that other industries can claim because the federal government considers marijuana a strictly controlled substance. So it's no difference in policy. This is how it's been for many years, and why it is actually more expensive to run anything in the marijuana industry than it is others. You can't really deduct hardly anything to offset your tax responsibility.
But unless you get creative with your business entity paperwork.
But at least it does lay it out clearly so that people can navigate this without leaving them exposed to,
But how fucked up is that?
Audits or even criminal prosecution, possibly.
Hey, you can't deduct any of your expenses, but we're still allowed to take our share.
Yeah, more than our share, because we're also sin taxing you.
Like, how does that work? When you make the rules, you do whatever you want, right? Yeah. Really how it works?
Yep. Well, just one more reason why we need to get this legalized. It does say in here that they previously misstated IRS policy on tax deductions for medical cannabis, saying during a C-SPAN appearance in February that there's a medical deduction that could apply to marijuana patients.
I'm listening.
A new blog post says, because marijuana is not a federally recognized course of medical treatment, individual taxpayers are prohibited from claiming associated expenses as itemized deductions on Schedule A of their Form 1040 tax return. So no, you cannot claim your expenses spent on medical marijuana to offset your tax responsibility.
Good to know.
The FDA issued a warning about Delta-8 THC products, saying the FDA is very concerned about the growing popularity of Delta-8 THC products being sold online and in stores nationwide. We will continue to safeguard Americans' health and safety by monitoring the marketplace and taking action when companies illegally sell products that pose a risk to public health. I don't know. I think Delta-8 should be regulated like any other cannabis product should be ultimately. But we haven't seen any problems with Delta-8.
No, not yet. No one's eating any faces.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't ruining anyone's kidneys. It's not sending them into psychotic fits. It's, just fucking lump it in with the rest of the THC and legalize all of it. I don't know who you think you're protecting on this one. Like suckers?
The children.
Won't get high enough because it's like diet weed. And think of the children. Well, that is a good point, though. I mean, that is why you want to regulate this like you would anything else, because ultimately, if we're going to enjoy this as responsible adults, part of that responsibility is making sure that kids don't get their hands on it, or at least not make it too easy for them to get their hands on it. I'd be curious to know what people that work in the cannabis industry, what they think about Delta-8, though.
I remember the one guy in Georgia, when I told him I had a medical card in Michigan, he was like, nah. He's like, don't bother.
Why? Because they had Delta-8 shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's Georgia, and they don't have many, it's a medical state with 0 dispensaries.
Right, but I'm sure there's some that would look at it as like it's poaching their business. Like they probably want it regulated because it's unfair that, these gas stations can sell this thing without having to get specialized license or anything like that, and they can make a better profit off of it. Or is this ultimately better because, there's so many different types of THC products and strains and hemp and all this stuff, and the whole gamut from like completely inactive to, blow your socks off. And maybe it just, I don't know. I don't know if this will actually make it easier to legalize cannabis or if it's actually going to confuse the issue even more.
I'm with you. Just legalize all of it, regulate it. Let's knock off this nonsense.
Well, that's ultimately my concern with this. Like, if we're going to regulate the other weed, we should be regulating this weed. Let's just have a comprehensive rule for all of it. If we're not going to regulate Delta-8, maybe we shouldn't be regulating the other stuff because, hey, I smoked unregulated weed for most of my life and my adult life. And
I did okay.
I'm fine. Yeah, I never had to go to the hospital for smoking too much weed. All right, well, I guess that's it for today.
all the news that's fit to speak. Follow us on social media, on Twitter at the Wheatsman420. Like us on Facebook. Send us an email, theweedsmanpodcast@christophermedia.net, which is where you go to hit the Amazon banner, hit the PayPal button. That's how you can help us out. And wherever you listen to us, speaking of helping us out, rate us and review us. We're everywhere. Anywhere you get a podcast, there's platforms we're on. I'm like, oh, really? We're on there? Cool. But wherever you rate us, or wherever you listen to us, rate us, review us. Tell people about the show if you like it, please. And thank you. And you can also stay high.
Stay high.
Dunkin' Refreshers are the perfect way to get a little more out of your day. With more tropical flavors like new mango pineapple and more ways to get glowing. Available with green tea, coconut milk, or lemonade. You've got what you need to make the most out of every moment, even the one spent stuck in traffic. What a beautiful day. Sip into all your favorite Dunkin' Refreshers like new mango pineapple. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Additional charges may apply.
It's official. Summer is almost here. The sun is getting brighter, the days are getting longer, and your lawn is ready for some love. Get everything you need for a season spent outside with Memorial Day savings from the Home Depot. Manicure your yard to perfection with lawn care tools from Ryobi. Then get your garden going with vegetables and herbs from Bonnie Plants Harvest Select. Plus mulch and soil from Vigoro and Earthgrow. Get your lawn as ready as you are for summer in the sun. Feels like Memorial Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. It's official. Summer is almost here. The sun is getting brighter, the days are getting longer, and your lawn is ready for some love. Get everything you need for a season spent outside with Memorial Day savings from the Home Depot. Manicure your yard to perfection with lawn care tools from Ryobi. Then get your garden going with vegetables and herbs from Bonnie Plants Harvest Select. Plus mulch and soil from Vigoro and Earthgrow. Get your lawn as ready as you are for summer in the sun. Feels like Memorial Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.